Hello YouTube, my name is AlphonZeus and welcome back to another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. I'm your host AlphonZeus and what we're going to be talking about right now is the latest Card Fight Vanguard episode, local results, and as well as future plans for the next week or two. So let's get dive into it. Of course, we're going to be going to the Card Fight Vanguard episode first. So if you want, just pause. If you haven't watched it first, spoiler alert, you can pause the video, watch the episode, come back, or you can just skip to the time that I put down in the description. So Ride 31, we have Ren versus Asuka now, with Suiko on the side. And so, the battle starts off and Ren comes into the room, Asuka descends from the ceiling on her trapeze like swing. And so, pretty much her goal for Asuka, she just wanted to turn Ren reverse so that, they can just dance forever. Which I kind of was kind of sweet, and just that the whole reverse thing isn't really the most popular thing to be going for right now. Especially how Ren wanted to unreverse Asuka. Now, the battle starts off, and this is where we get to see the Silverthorn archetype within Pale Moon, and I am excited for this. I remember when I had my Pale Moon deck, I had Lucklier, and the thing is, it didn't have that much synergy as I hoped it would, but that's okay. I'm definitely gonna get hyped up for the reversed Lucklier. Now, the battle starts off. I noticed that like they haven't really shown a lot of what they soul charge yet or so. I was hoping that like they would at least have some instances where they show, okay, what did you drive check, okay, what did you soul charge, because there was that one part where she rode the grade 1, and all of a sudden after, like, not only did she when she got into hit, she soul charged, and I was like, is there any way to explain the skill even just for a brief second? Because the thing is, though, even though the card fight Vanguard episode, it had the card fight going on, it's just that there were at least two segments where it actually did a flashback how Asuka started out. Now it's a nice backstory. I definitely see how, like, she rose up and then she became one of the top three at Fukuhara High School, and and so when you oh, great! I can't believe that kind of lost my focus. But anyways, when there was some stuff that I wasn't able to see because I was thinking, like, all right, what do they have in their hand? So, like, there were at least two turns where I think like Ren and Asuka, they trigger checked, but they showed nothing of what they trigger checked. So I don't know if that's because to kind of like save the hype for later, whether it's to ride a grade 3 or to bring out some brand new card that wasn't even revealed yet. It was still pretty alright. It's just that I wish that I can at least see that so I can have a better idea of where the card fight's at and like how it can do. And the thing is, though, the fight was already explosive. By the time Ren rode his grade 3, he was already at 5 damage to Asuka's 1, which is crazy because, well, okay, you already rode your grade 3, but don't even have. You already at 5. How are you gonna do that? And then Ren, like the badass that he is, when he twin drives, heal trigger, alright, and then crit trigger. It's like, alrighty, so now she's back at 4. I think the 1 damage was from one of his rear guard attacks, but then, like, he managed to tie it up, which is pretty good. And then when Asuka was actually saying her, like, little hype up moment for the for riding Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Lecriere, I thought it was gonna be reversed. I was thinking, like, wait a second, was Silverthorn already soul charged? And I was like, oh man. And so, when she did that, activate limit break, I was like, awesome. Okay, so now she has like a great, 3, 2, 1, 0, and I think, yeah, that grade 3 that was called from the soul, that must be from the soul charge from the grade 1 attack. But it's pretty good. She definitely filled up the field, and she's at 22k. And luckily, she didn't get a crit ticker when she swung at Ren, because when Ren said no guard, it was like, oh, it was a little bit like the same situation as Suiko, except that this episode is not like, this card fight's not gonna end here. I already know it because these two flashbacks already kind of like add up the time. But it wasn't that bad. I know I can definitely see how Asuka overcame her trials and tribulations just to at least get close to Ren. And you can tell that she really does like him, because even when she's reversed, she just wanted Ren, like, period. Like, it's not like it's like she wasn't interested in anything else but just getting Ren to win her over. But then Ren came back with a really badass, and I think, you, like, your punishment for angering me is not light. And I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, Ren's going hand now. And at the end of that episode, I don't think I've seen a reverse fighter actually lose confidence that much when the game is still, like, in like from mid to late game mode, and you see a reverse fighter that freaking scared, and how Ren was just like, okay, I'm serious. This is not even my final form. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm gonna unreverse you. I'm gonna save you. Especially when Asuka like assumed Ren that he just didn't even look at her. He was just so concerned with the top fighters like Aichi and Leon and Kai, and it was just all really like a bad assumption in general because when you piss off Ren, it's like he hasn't even used his psychology yet, which is amazing because that just shows you how natural his skill is, at least from like an anime, real life anime standpoint. Uh, and thing is though, I can't wait to see the reverse of Leclerc premiere in the new in Ride 132. So I think that's definitely going to be something to look forward to. Uh, I know that Ren's going to go on a big winning streak. I just really hope that because I didn't see Aichi that much in this episode, so I was hoping that maybe like come on, visit Fukuhara High School because I don't know. It's like Ren can just clear out that whole place before Aichi even steps foot on campus. Even Kyo and his team events is even you know doing more than Aichi, and they're like they probably finding like students who are kind of nobodies at the school, but still they're holding their own. They keep on winning. That's pretty good. And so I think this episode is definitely a uphill moment in terms of getting to that hype level. Because I know that definitely when Asuka's gonna ride the reversal of her career, I'm really looking forward to how she would implement that strategy. I hope that's gonna be pretty cool. I already like the artwork on a lot of the Silverthorn archetypes. It looks amazing. I like it. I definitely want to play it. I definitely want to update my Pale Moon deck so that maybe instead of Tamers, I'd actually drop that for the Silverthorn archetype because I definitely would like that cross ride and just to be able to soul charge like that. Oh man, that's really really good. Alrighty. Well, at least that's it for the Card Fight Vanguard episode, and I can end the spoilers right here. So now let's get into the local events. Now, at Game On, we at Saturday decided to try out one of the new decks I recently completed, which was the Murakamo Shirayuki slash Zanbaku anti-meta deck. Now, I went 2-2. First match I lost against a Royal Paladin Alpha Beat because I just didn't really have the best columns in the world. I'll definitely put up if anything, I'll just tell you what my deck profile was. I had 8 crits, 4 draws, 4 heals. I had 4 of the perfect guards, 4 AK vanillas, 4 of the 7k counterblast 1, gain 1000 till the end of turn, and 2 of the 10k booster if I had more cards in the hand than the opponent. Grade 2 lineup, I got the 4 grade 10k vanillas, I got the 4 damage and flippers, and 4 of the 4 midnight stealth fiend crow. And then grade 3 lineup, 4 Shirayukis, 3 Zanbakus. And it was alright, it's just that it wasn't really that effective. It's just that I felt like I had to rely a lot on Shirayuki in order to kind of like get that defense going because if I had Shirayuki in my hand, I could have won at least 2 of the games of all the matches 2 games in every single game that I played at Game On. And it was alright. I definitely capitalized. I got some luck going for me, but I was still pretty much good to go. And then after that first round, my friend Irvin, he actually advised me. He's like, "Hey man, you ever thought about just doing it in the ride chain?" And I haven't thought much about the Magatu Storm ride chain because I didn't honestly think this would actually fit into my deck. And then when I realized like the skills and how like good it can be, especially at conserving hand advantage, I was thinking, all right, I gotta get on that. And so pretty much from there, I started collecting the ride chain. I just need like 3 more rare grade 2s and 3 more of the grade 3s, and I can definitely put this to a playtest. Now, I think at least this build is going to have a lot more offense because I really can't find anything I want to do for Crow, and Zanbaku's probably not going to be effective even if the break rides come out. So we'll always have to see what happens in that aspect. I know that definitely the second match that I played against, it was against uh, it was against yeah, first round was Alpha Beat. Second round was against. Oh my jeez. I think it was some random Spectral Duke Chrome Jailer build, which was weird. I managed to kind of beat that, I think. And then round 3, I faced against a Bermuda Triangle player who was using the reindeer build. He was very good, very consistent. It's just that the unfortunate part, he wasn't hitting matching numbers very often. So then from there, I managed to beat him because it pretty much came down to triggers, and I was lucky enough to get double triggers for both rounds. And then round four, I went up against a very aggressive MLB player. He pretty much was already in my face. He got a lot of damage on me, even though I got like a double heal when I rode my grade 3. But it was alright. I really couldn't do anything against MLB. I didn't have enough cards to go in hand. So then I started to replace the cards in my deck with the Magatsu Storm Ride Chain. So I'm definitely gonna try that out for next week. I'm gonna see how I do with that. But I hope that I'm definitely gonna get back. Also, in other news outside of Cardfight Vanguard, we have the Sword Art Online trial deck from Wade Schwartz. Now, our community here is actually it's starting to get into Wade Schwartz quite a bit. We have actually a lot of players that actually bought trial decks to just try out the game and do. And a couple of those players actually come from our Vanguard community just to kind of like have a little balance because sometimes you get burned out from playing too much of one thing, especially in a game like Cardfight Vanguard. You just need something to kind of mix up the flow a bit. And since it was like way short, you have like anime and video game series in here. I was definitely excited. I was like, okay. And so I managed to pick up a Sword Art Online trial deck. The Madoka Magica deck I actually sold to one of my good friends who actually just watched the whole anime, and the only thing I managed to keep was the signed card from Madoka Kaname's voice actress because she ranged from anywhere between $30 and $50. So I decided to buy a Sword Art Online trial deck, see what I can do. And thing is, I noticed that another friend that I met that's outside of the Vanguard community bought two of them. So I was like, oh man, I'm probably not gonna get the signed card. And so when I bought the deck along with my entry, I just came back. And thing is though, what I noticed was that when I was looking through the trial deck, I noticed that a lot, like in the Madoka Magica trial deck, the signed card actually came at the end of the trial deck. So that's how, like, and when I opened it up a bit, I accidentally saw the last card, which was just a regular promo. So I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna get it. So I was going through the cards and I was like, alright, this looks good. And then like in the middle of the deck, I saw a signed Asuna card. So I was like, oh man, okay, I'm good. My friends were like doing the flipping tables thing just because like, wow, you got a signed card, and she goes from anywhere between like 60, 70 to like $100, and I was like, wow, okay, I'm just glad I managed to pull her, so that adds two cards to my signed collection. Very good, and I hope that we can actually start up having actual sanctioned tournaments for Wade Schwartz, because I think that the community at Game On for Wade Schwartz is starting to grow quite a bit. We already have at least 4 to 5 players that are, already bought trial decks, already playing games, and so I was thinking, like, maybe we can, if this can snowball, we can definitely form up a pretty strong Wade Schwartz community along with our Vanguard community. And also other plans for like coming up, the Dazzling Divas extra booster for the Bermuda Triangle is going to be coming out not this week but next week, and the sneak peek is going to be this Saturday. And Game On is still going to have the same format: a $30 entry and a $20 entry. $30 entry for just entering, you get your 6 boosters and you get insane prize support. And then you have the $20 ones which you can pay as much as you want, so you can keep getting those 6 sneak peek packs. But unlike the $30 booster where you follow the draft rules, when the $20 ones, you just keep it for yourself. You just and the thing, honestly, I was thinking of like buying it, but I'd rather probably have the boxes instead. I don't know how limited I would be, but if anything, I'm probably gonna get maybe 3, 4 boxes and just see what I can pull from there. After I reserve my 3, 4 boxes, I'm just gonna like buy maybe like $40, $60 worth of sneak peek packs and see what I pull. The Bermuda Triangle build I'm trying to aim for is the Prism Labrador build. Very good set, like the best part of the archetype, and this is gonna be the first break ride in the English format. I think Bermuda is gonna stay comfortably at the top, but they won't completely break the meta, at least in my opinion. I think it would actually be a pretty good counteract to the meta, especially with cross rides like Planet Azel, Glory Maelstrom, The End, etc. And I think that is definitely going to be a breath of fresh air. And now a clan that hasn't seen much play at all is now going to be, pretty much close to the top. I know that definitely at least 3 to 4 of us at Game On are planning to like make Bermuda Triangle. I think a lot of us are just going to go for the Prism set just because it's the most consistent, as well as one of the most aggressive archetypes in Bermuda Triangle. I definitely like the Pacifica cross ride. It's just that I feel like she has a lot of there's a lot of like only a 1 turn kill, and if you don't, you're kind of screwed for the rest of the game. But to each their own. I think the ride chain that actually introduces the safe ride chain format is gonna be pretty good, because that's when, if you ride another grade 2 on top of the grade 1 and the grade 0s in the soul, you can just check the top 7 again for the grade 2 and ride on top of that. Therefore, if you manage to get that off, you actually have a free card in the soul, and you don't have to use anything from your hand, which is amazing to activate that skill. Now, I think the other one that's going off, yeah, it's pretty much the Pacifica, Cross Ride, Prism Labrador, and the Ride Chain, off of Riviera and that. And then you have a Reindeer, which is kind of at the bottom. But believe me, a lot of people should not underestimate this deck. It's actually really good. It's just that I can't really match up to Cross Rides because it can't hit magic numbers. Now, uh, I'm trying to think like what else I can talk about. I think we covered a great deal in this episode, and if you want to keep asking me like, oh, what topics you want to talk about? Oh, you want to talk about this card? You want to talk about this clan or whatever? Any new support? Or actually, in terms of the switch for the set 10 and set 11 for the English format. I personally think that it's an okay move, because at least the eradicators can at least be delayed for a bit, especially when you go to Royals. I think that it's definitely going to be a big impact on how the meta is going to be. But I guess that one of the downsides is that Liberators is going to get delayed, as well as the Genesis, because Genesis hardly has any triggers in that set, and I don't know how people are going to get away with that and still play. But if anything, to look on the good side of things, at least the Genesis cards that will come out for set 11 is going to be cheaper, since they're not really playable at the format. You can hardly put in like any of the triggers possible. So if I think that it's an okay move by Bushiroad, but it all depends on what's gonna happen from here. I know I'm definitely still hyped up about the Link Joker clan, still playing that Schwarzschild Dragon Break Ride lock build. It's definitely good. I definitely want to try that out. And yeah, after Murakami, I'll definitely build a Bermuda Triangles, and then from there, I might try out Genesis, and I'm not really sure about that, and then go into Link Joker. And I don't know what clan to go to from there. I'm definitely hoping to see what can come out of the new Batama or Grand Blue, Mega Colony, like all of set 13. I'm really looking forward to that, especially when Team Caesar or Kaiser premieres in season 3. I definitely want to see that. I want to see what break rides and silliness that the other clans that are going to have in terms of support. Well, that's it for me. This has been an episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. I am AlphonZeus, your host, and I will see you guys next time.